Hey everybody, it's the Manosphere here, and I'm doing another video. This time it's going to be about the red pill movement. And just as a note, this video was in the works for quite a while. I had a thumbnail custom made and stuff. So that's what I usually do for some of these videos. I'll get an idea, write down the idea of the video, and then I'll do the actual video. So, anyways, what is the red pill movement? Well, you can go back to some of the earlier in the 2000s, like the early 2000s, and there was the pickup artist movement and the Manosphere, you know, which a lot of things like MGTOW and ostensibly MRAs, even though they've been around, you know, all that stuff's been around for decades. It's not that new, unlike the blogs might say it is, but, you know. So the red pill movement is kind of a weird, skewed version of the PUA movement in a certain way, with an emphasis on sort of almost a conservative view of the world and right-wing view of the world. So I actually read all of Rollo Tomassi's original books as far as his, what is that called? I read all three of them. Couple of years ago. Rational Male, no, that's not it. The Rational Male, yeah, 1 through 3, that's right, okay. So I read all of them. You know, it's still in my bookshelf somewhere over there. And just, I think when I think about the red pill movement, I think it's somewhat of a, I know that's right now, you know, we're in this pandemic and it's harder to approach women and stuff, and some people are doing it, by the way. But depending on the region, probably too, of course, what you're supposed to do with social distancing and all that. So the red pill movement is kind of a skewed, warped version of PUA, and you know, I was into the PUA movement back in, you know, the late 2000s, like 2000. I read first stuff in 2006, and then I didn't really do anything until like 2008, 2009 about it, but you know, I never got deeply involved with approaching and stuff as much as I should have probably, but you know, done a ton of approaching, but I never developed a skill like I should have. So doesn't mean I don't get girlfriends and stuff. The problem I have is that it's kind of it's kind of full of itself. And you know, you go to you know, there was the 21 convention, now it's called 21 Studios or something. It's on YouTube. I don't know if it's still on YouTube. Oh god, I'm sweating now. Excuse me. And I was just on the treadmill. So the whole thing with the red pill movement is that it's kind of like unnecessary to me, because you have this like deep philosophical like view on women that's almost like quasi-conservative, and I mean, it's really hard to explain to people. I haven't read those books in a couple of years, but you know, I just don't think it's necessary. You already had like David D'Angelo, you know, hell, even Ross Jeffries, you know, for, you know, or Mystery or Neil Strauss or a lot of these guys, Tyler Durden, you know, quote unquote, or Owen Cook, Tyler, aka Tyler Durden. You know, hours and hours of material, writings, you know, all these guys of the original core group. So when these guys, you know, these new guys, like, you know, there was Rossi, and there's rooshv, that's right. So I haven't kept track of these guys for a while. You know, they do these shocking things and they say all this stuff, and it's just like, I think what they think is that women are inherently, I think the difference between PUA and red pill is that PUA is a little more flexible, it's a little more loose, it's a little more, I think I dare say it's more positive, because it's more linked to the self-help and NLP movement. And that's probably why it could get criticized by some. But the red pill movement is just too like kind of up its own ass, and it's not that it doesn't have any value, but you know, it's tied into this Manosphere stuff that is kind of just some of it's kind of ridiculous, you know, presuppositions and ideas about women and men and stuff. Like, you know, for example, like Western women are corrupted by feminism, blah blah blah. PUA. Let's just look at two things. So, the PUA movement, seduction community, would say that, oh yeah, women might be brainwashed by feminism, but if you're just, you know, if you have the skills, or, you know, women are, I mean, maybe it's more sexist, but women are already, you know, looking for that strong man, blah blah blah, right? So, whereas with Red Pill, it's like, it's a struggle to keep your woman pure for yourself, for your life and your marriage, and, you know, eventually your marriage and all this stuff. It's like, the whole thing with the whole premise with PUA is that you'll be so good and so attractive that even the most ardent man-hating feminists will, you know, submit to your whims. And that's something that's missing from this Red Pill thing. It seems like a lot of bitterness and anger towards women and towards people in general, and misanthropy and this right-wing reactionary ideas. And that's what really turned me off from it. I mean, I don't know if at some point a lot of people got frustrated with how PUA, the seduction community, was being implemented, or their results, so they kind of went to this more like half like philosophically bitter permutation called Red Pill. But, you know, it's just bizarre that it's like they won't discount the ideas of the original gurus, quote unquote, but, you know, it's like your thoughts become reality, you know. So I think it's just, you know, it's silly to, it's kind of pretentious too. Like, just these Rollo Tomassi books, I read all three of them, and they were just like, just the most pretentious stuff. And how to keep your daughter red pilled, or whatever, like how to raise kids with the rational male ideas. And it's just like this, what the fuck, you know? Obviously the guy's making some bank from that, because a lot of frustrated men out there that will read this stuff or watch this stuff, you know. So that's what I gotta say about the Red Pill movement. I mean, you know, there probably are some ideas that are valuable, you know. I mean, I think it sort of is like an even more edgelord version of the pickup artist movement, which got pretty edgelord-esque towards the end of, you know, like Real Social Dynamics with Julian Blanc and all that controversy and shit. So, you know, and, you know, the PUAs already have kind of a somewhat warped view on society in general. Now, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't work, of course. I think it does. But if you're going out there with this Red Pill thing, like, I just wonder if that's going to taint your approach with women in life and relationships more than the PUA thing would. I think the premise is that this Red Pill thing is a lifelong attitude versus PUA. Because PUA is kind of like, you know, you read the game. Neil Strauss improves himself, gets a bunch of women, and then he settles for a relationship. Or, I mean, it's essentially sort of backwards and then forwards in his sequel to that called The Truth, which I read months back. But it's just, you know, it's unnecessary. There's already volumes of writings and workshops and videos. You could attain them any which way, you know. I mean, books, you know. PUA has, you know, fastseduction.com. They had that, and, you know, they had a lot of stuff, you know, on there. And there's actually a news site that has a lot of the archived stuff too on there. I believe it's, just look up Fast Seduction. That was, you know, but I'm not recommending you do that, but, you know. So the Red Pill thing is silly to me, and it's too it's too political, you know. It's too, like, MAGA and stuff, and it's like, I would say, like, David D'Angelo and some of these guys, even Ross Jeffries or, you know, Neil Strauss, very somewhat, you know, cultured, somewhat liberal guys, you know, liberal politically too, and they're probably, I mean, I know Neil Strauss, even for all his, you know, mixed perception, I mean, all the people's mixed perception of him probably out there. He probably considers himself a feminist at this point, which is kind of bizarre, but, you know, he's a Rolling Stone writer too, so, I mean, he's not just a pickup guy, but, you know, this red pill thing got too political and just got silly and pretentious. It's and kind of smug in this way. It's like, well, we're red pill. We're so cool, you know. It's like, get over yourselves, man. I mean, I know people are probably down to vote this video and not like it, whatever, and they'll probably put some ad hominem arguments there. But the difference between PUA, or I didn't finish my difference. Okay, so PUA is supposed to be like a process. So you get into a relationship eventually, then you get the choice of getting women you want. If you decide to continue with it, like some of these guys have, a lot of these gurus have continued, then you become a player for the rest of your life, or whatever you want to call it. If you decide to get in a relationship, at least you had the choice, and you chose this woman out of hundreds or thousands or whatever, how many approaches, and getting yourself together and stuff. It's about self-improvement. Whereas red pill is like sort of almost halfway to an AFC attitude in a certain way, in my opinion. If you know what AFC is, it's like people that don't, it's kind of a cult. Okay, so like I said in my video months back about PUA pickup artist thing being a cult, it's kind of a cult because it has this outsider view of people that aren't into the material. So it's kind of like red pill is almost halfway back to the other side, where it's like, they've got to accept me, blah blah blah, I'm the man, blah blah blah. It's like PUA is about self-improvement, so you're not an average frustrated chump because you know this secret mysterious knowledge that you're going to learn how to get women with and live a different lifestyle. So yeah, that's what I got to say about red pill. Peace out.